So recently, I found myself thinking, damn, I need to start being more positive because 9 out of 10 times I'm inclined to expect the worst to happen. So I went online and searched how to be more positive. But then I get answers like practice gratitude, be kind to yourself, take time to acknowledge the good things in your life. And that doesn't quite help me. Then I started asking myself, at what point did I become so negative? Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Chinetere. In this episode, I'm going to share 2 tips for how to be more positive. First, I need to figure out when I became so negative. Let's get into it. So I thought back to a time when I started forex trading. I suffered so much loss that at some point I became ruthless. If you know anything about forex trading, that would be it is insanely risky. At one point, I had lost so much that I knew that if I were to suffer one more loss, just one more loss, it had the potential to throw me into a state where I am constantly reminded of all the losses I've ever had in my life. Just imagine being forced to relive all the horrible experiences you've ever had to go through in your life. At that point, you are basically wallowing in self-pity, asking yourself, why is the universe conspiring against me? Why can't I catch a break? What is the point of even trying? Why do I always suffer disappointments? This brings me to instance number 2: unmet expectations and consistent disappointment. If you've ever committed yourself to a goal and you failed at it, and when you got over it, you made another attempt at something and happened to fail at it again. This series of fails happens repeatedly across other areas of your life. At some point, these consistent fails can push you into a state where you become helpless. There's something known as learned helplessness. It's a phenomenon where a person begins to feel powerless and helpless in the face of challenges and difficulties. One of the downsides to this is that it gradually destroys a person's confidence. And in another instance, it could push you to become increasingly passive. Someone once asked me this, and this was during my final year in school. He said, why are you so passive? We were about to defend our final year project, and our printed work to him seemed like it was not bulky enough. And I simply told him to leave it like that. Passive behaviors often manifest in our inability to express ourselves clearly, and also when we put off making certain decisions due to fear or lack of motivation. So how did I manage these negative thoughts? One of the ways that I find to manage negative thoughts is by the way of the Stoic. The Stoic mindset tells us to focus on things that are within our control and accept things that are outside of our control. In one of Ali Abdaal's shorts, he explained this.
This is the parable of the Chinese farmer, and it's one of my favorite stories. Once upon a time, there was a Chinese farmer whose horse ran away. That evening, all of the local villagers came to console him. They said, "We're so sorry to hear that your horse has run away. That is terrible." But the farmer just said, "Maybe." Then on the second day, the horse came back, bringing 7 more wild horses with it. And in the evening, all of the local villagers came back and said, "Wow, what a change of fortune. Aren't you lucky? Now you have 8 horses." But the farmer again just said, "Maybe." Then on the third day, his son tried to train one of the new horses, and while riding it, he fell off and broke his leg. The local villagers came back and said, "Oh dear, that's too bad. Your son has broken his leg." And again, the farmer just said, "Maybe." But on the 4th day, some army officers came to conscript people into the army, and they didn't take the farmer's son because he had a broken leg. Again, all the local people came around and they said, "Isn't that amazing?" And again, the farmer just said, "Maybe." The Chinese farmer reminds us that it's impossible to tell the true meaning of what we think is good or bad luck. And instead, we should just try to embrace uncertainty, not get too attached to what happens to us in life, and just try our best to enjoy the journey.
This mindset helped me to detach myself from whatever outcome I face. I got to understand that the universe is indifferent to our individual desires and outcomes. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, it is not what happens to you that matters, but how you react to it. So you could have series of setbacks back to back. It's not going to be easy when you're the one faced with these challenges, but in that moment you need to recognize that it is not a reflection of your self-worth. Adopting this mindset increases the level of peace and calm you feel on the inside, and it helps you gravitate towards developing a more positive mindset. And the second tip is to properly articulate what you're feeling negative about. There's a sense of relief that comes with knowing exactly what you're feeling negative about. You will be better equipped to handle the problem and see things from a fresh perspective. When I first read the book Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas, one of the things that really resonates with me is the line where he said, being wrong on any given trade has the potential to be associated with any or every other experience in a trader's life where he's been wrong. The implication is that any trade can easily tap him into the accumulated pain of every time he has been wrong in his life. It hit me so hard when I realized that what I was feeling is all part of the process. So I adopted the mindset and applied it to other areas of my life, especially in my day-to-day interactions with people outside. And we have come to the end of this episode. If you want to check out the book, send me a DM and I'll forward a soft copy to you. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you did, consider leaving a comment in the comment section, and don't forget to subscribe. I will see you in the next video.